Let's go back.
And we are live. Welcome everyone to another Apollo Justice Ace Attorney live stream. Jan, welcome to the stream, man. How's your Thursday been so far? Good to hear. Fun fact, the multi-chat is working, at least in OBS. We'll see how it works on stream, but, you know, good to see for now the multi-stream is working. Alright. With that, God, I just had like just something to snack on essentially since I woke up in fucking 2 hours ago. So, now I'm dying on it, apparently. The last time out, we found out that one Pheonix Wright is now a card shark and a subpar pianist. Also has a daughter. We found out a lot last time out. And possibly a murderer, even though we know our boy Pheonix, and he doesn't murder people unless it's for the right reasons, because that's always the way to think of it. But we got through the first section of this case. We'll see if Pheonix opens up the book for us some more here. Let me stop that. Turn my volume up on my side so I can hear the game. And we are good to go. You're gonna have to give me a second to get my voices in tune here. Got the combination of barely being up, combined with normal reading literacy, so, you know. Court will now reconvene. Has your witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again.
That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify. or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Why is Kristoff doing everything? How are we supposed to learn? Come on. You woke up early? 8:30, so you got tons of writing done. Good for you, Jan. I got some writing done yesterday. Got about probably about a page, maybe a page and a half done. Good 1,000 words added, so. Or no, only about 600 words added, but finished a chapter, which was the important part. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poorer loser. Nah, not. What the fuck? She wasn't Russian at all! You mean to tell me she was bullshitting the entire time? I'm gonna assume she's not Russian and now she's like some type of fucking Vegas card shark. Name's Ola Orley, that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers Orley. She's getting... Lying? A Russian? No way. Oh, no, that would never happen. Never. Oh. Oh, really? Well, this is going into the fanfic. Jaren, just because you got sleep doesn't mean you can pull out all the stops today. Just because you woke up early and are energized and energetic doesn't mean you can pull out all the stops today. Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like "oh really." So your name was Olga O'Reilly. Why not just go like O'Reilly or something? Then I can make an auto parts joke. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Why are they giving us that shot? Witness, you will tell the court what you really were up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Yeah, you're just Harley Quinn now. That's literally the voice I'm giving you is just the OG Harley Quinn voice, and it works. Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. I just had some coffee backstage to wake me up, and it's, you know, getting to the throat. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim? Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Pheonix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards?
Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play.
What would we call that? Would we call that a 3-6-5? Or what kind of double play we talking here?
Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
I would think it would be I would think it's a 1-4-3 double play. That's the way I would call it. It's a 1-4-3. Just a grounder right back to the pitcher. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh, really? Oh, really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake.
A mistake?
I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey! That's right! He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly.
Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. This is why everything goes in the fanfic. The judge is over here trying to get it. I know, all power to him. I will say, once she showed up as a card shark, more into it.
Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute, I'm bad. You hear me? Bad.
Yeah, you got daddy issues. That's pretty obvious now. We're talking fan fiction. Reading a fan fiction. Was it written by the judge? When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Now, just the fact that he said sprung just makes me really badly want to hear Sean Connery singing Sir Mix-a-Lot. Girl walks in when itty bitty waist a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Wait. You want to check something? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's checking something. Let me see. Yeah, imagine you hear this coming on the radio. Where is it? I like big butts, I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist, a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Wanna pull up tough, 'cause you notice that butt was stuffed. Deep in the jeans she's wearing. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Baby, I wanna get with ya and take your picture. I need that. Where's the AI for that? That's the AI track we need. Sean Connery singing Sir Mix-a-Lot. Are you surprised? Everything's on Wattpad, man. Yeah, that's the least surprising one. There's fanfiction of everything on Wattpad. And that is the least surprising thing, that there's a Pheonix and Franziska von Karma fanfic. That's not surprising at all.
That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was the no-good cheating defendant.
Because, man, you need a lot of parts to keep people interested. And in fanfiction terms, that's a bajillion. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up.
It's 200 per book. You doubt the fanfic writers a little too much here, Jan. You doubt them a little too much. They'll take it 200, then spin it off for another 200. Don't question fanfic writers. Don't question them.
Look who's talking.
Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice.
With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors?
See, Jared, you don't question fanfic writers. I expect like 700 parts out of a fanfic. 300 parts of them are not needed, but I still expect them. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised. Alright. This planted card. Which card was it exactly?
The trump card. It literally was just a Donald Trump card I put in the deck. It's weird because it sticks out like a sore thumb. Literally looks exactly like it. The trump card. The 5 of hearts.
Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least, that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend.
I slid it into Wright's pocket.
When was this?
Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Bush Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers.
Remind me never to go there.
Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken.
Olga, do you write fanfic? Is everyone in the universe of Pheonix a fanfic writer? I'm starting to think so. I have a prequel book that's about 10 chapters, currently working on the sequel. I mean, keep going, man. The fanfic readers need more. And if you take that and turn it into an actual kind of novel, you can just become 50 Shades of Grey. Because if I remember properly, that's just a fanfic of Twilight. I think that's the way it goes. Wattpad's taking over the world of Pheonix Wright. I love that is our whole story point of Pheonix Wright, is they all are on they're all on Wattpad. So, everything went according to plan.
Exactly. The 5th ace came up. So it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud.
I think she's just mad because she was totally into Pheonix and Pheonix wasn't into her because he's got a daughter. He's got a family. I think that's where all this is coming from. I'm just saying. And the judge is going to make great use of it in the fanfic. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. Tell us what happened with the search. The card disappeared?
Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace. Poof, zippo.
I mean, until we get any more knowledge, I'm gonna assume it's Dahlia's sister. I'm gonna assume. Because that's what we knew from the end of the original trilogy. That's what I'm gonna assume until we know anything else. Or as we call her, Delilah, you know. Delilah's sister. God, I still can't believe it took me that long to realize I was saying her name wrong, but it made a great joke. And that's all I want, is good content.
We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat.
Oh, so you're into the beanie. Got it. But the card was nowhere to be found. Is this correct? I'm pulling my best Godot right now.
Never in my long, storied career.
How old are you? How long have you been dealing? Long and storied career.
Never has quick fingers or really been so readily duped.
Oh, really? So what did happen to the 5 of hearts?
Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant?
So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. Is it? 'Cause I thought our boy here had had 3 5s. Oh no, he had 3 kings. That's what it was. This place is an absolute mess though. Time out. Okay, maybe I'm going crazy, but I think in these photos, that looks like hearts next to the ace of spades in the other photo. There it's a club. Just looked weird to me, you know? Alright.
The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it.
Wait, isn't that a little odd?
What's odd?
You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Oh, what? What the fuck was that? What was that just now? I sent something. Ah! My spidey senses are activating. Something wrong, Mr. Justice. I'm sorry, did you have one of those weird-ass spidey senses I've read so much about on Wattpad? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? When in doubt, we press. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something.
What are you talking about? You? Me? Quick fingers over. The defense will refrain from baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Dash, welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How's your Thursday been? I will refrain from talking about your old ass lawyer.
Of course it's true. I did see it. Honest. I saw it when Wright hit him.
The spidey senses are tingling again.
I saw it when Wright hit him. With my own eyes. I saw it.
What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Oh my god. Oh, it is working on stream. Look at that. It's not working in OBS, though. But it is working on stream. That's all that matters. Let me, whoops. Not the one I wanted. There we go. Maybe that'll fix it. This is interesting. If this is how they're going to do it from now on, and now they're going to actually give them certain tells, and that's how you're supposed to figure out what to kind of call out, that's quite interesting. I like that. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Apollo, don't look too close to the eyes. You'll get sucked in. Whoa! What's going on? This sensation. It's coming into focus. There! That twitch! It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Gotcha! That's interesting. This is an interesting mechanism. I like it. Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of yourself. Or unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what?
What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. Raiders signed... Oh, they signed Colin Johnson? Fuck yeah. I love Colin Johnson, man. I've always wanted him to work out. I was ecstatic when we drafted him, and he's never gotten the opportunity to fully stick with a team, and I think that's been the biggest problem. Now it's probably too late in his career for that to happen, but absolutely love Colin Johnson. Big guy, can be kind of that, was Ricardo Lockett, who was like 6'5"? What was the receiver they had, the Seahawks had, that was like 6'5"? It was, I think it was, the one dude who had like that miracle, that one play in the Super Bowl. I don't think it's Ricardo Lockett. I'm trying to find his size, and I can't find it. Oh, what the fuck was the... Yeah, he's 6'2". Still good size, but... What the fuck is, the dude's name? What the fuck was the dude's name? He had that one little stint in the Super Bowl where it was like, oh, this could be the next guy for Seattle. And he was like 6'5" or something. But, yeah, Colin Johnson could be kind of that dude. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about?
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of the moment than this bottle? The murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you are only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What's he talking about now?
It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant.
Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Bruh, Apollo trying to do damage. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment.
Yet, I am knowing nothing.
That's funny. Christian Wilkerson, Jeff Foreman, Kyle Phillips, and rookie Dontre Thompson. Can't get a wide receiver 5 or 6 spot. He's not over in the NFL. I mean, he's probably going to be under Thornton, I would assume. Given Thornton was taken the 4th round, I assume he gets probably the 4 spot. But we know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. I will say that seems like it would get real stuffy real fast. Like, she had that big coat on, the hat to cover up the bandana, and the dealer outfit. I feel like you get real sweaty real quick though in a courtroom with all that on. I'm just saying, unless like the AC's running non-stop in the courtroom.
Bah, fine.
You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like?
Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony?
I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is needing to be saved. I'm gonna say flawed. Is basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence.
What's that?
Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. I just want to double check. Oh yeah, she said he sat at the table the entire dazed at the table. He made a phone call. Yeah. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. It's a cellular telephone. Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. The fuck? I went to check out the new house you're possibly moving into. The basement's like a full apartment. Damn. What, they got a kitchen area and everything? 'Cause that's fucking crazy.
The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant.
The fuck? Oh shit. Damn, walk-in shower? Goddamn. Like, that shit too fancy. Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets, now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose.
Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Mr. Wright, and he hit me.
You, some master of cheating you turned out to be.
Eek. When I came to, the victim was already dead.
Is that it?
That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure.
Apparently Jones is outperforming Anthony Richardson. That's the pot calling the kettle black. I think everybody kind of figured Daniel Jones was starting. I mean, at least I did. I did not think Anthony Richardson was going to beat out Daniel Jones. Like, the second they signed him, I'm like, it's $17 million. That's not backup money. That man's starting. Oh shit, Bengals gonna release Jermaine Pratt? Goddamn, that's a big guy to pick up for anybody. Okay. Well, where did these like who is that made from? Like they these people don't watch football. Yeah, no, these people do not watch football. There is a fan base tier list. Oh no, Daniel Jones is starting. Daniel Jones is totally starting. There's no way they're playing Anthony Richardson. The fact that they signed Daniel Jones tells me they've given up. So he's starting. This is a fan base tier list. I hope you're ready for this, Jaron, because this is going to be fun. Non existent is the bottom tier. I want you to guess. There are 5 tiers. I want you to guess where you think the Raiders are. What tier do you think the Raiders are in? Because I think you're going to argue with this one. The reason nobody wanted Shador is because head coaches feared Dion replacing him. I don't think that's why they didn't take him. Not by a long shot. I think everybody kind of agrees Shador shot himself in the foot during interviews and stuff. Elite, you would be wrong. They're in the third tier, which is okay fans. You're in there with the Dolphins, Broncos, Rams, Bears, Falcons, and Jets fans. Now, I want you to guess where the Jags are because I'll even say this. I get why they are where they are. I think that tier is wrong on most of it. They are in the non-existent. That's the bottom tier. And I get it. I get it. Everyone looks at the Jags that way. I get it. But that tier has the Arizona Cardinals, a team that at one point made the Super Bowl and almost won it. The Chargers, which is understandable. The Carolina Panthers, which, okay, I get it. And the Washington Commanders, a team that is one of the biggest legacy teams in the fucking league. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I get the Jags being there. I'm not going to complain about that because people shit on the Jags even though we outsell Kansas City. Like, also, fun fact, Kansas City is in the second to last tier, which is insufferable, which is Dallas, New York, or Dallas, Giants, Eagles, Patriots, and Kansas City. I'm like, why is that just a tier of its own? It cost more than game tickets last year. Yeah, Panthers, I get. Commanders, their fan base was over the place last year. Exactly. Exactly. And here's where I'm confused. The best fans are Detroit, Minnesota, Buffalo, Green Bay, Seattle. I will not complain with that. I think those are kind of accurate. I think those are kind of accurate. Buffalo fans are great people. Fantastic people. Here's where I have a problem. Here is the second tier. This is the great fans. New Orleans, okay. Baltimore, okay. Cincinnati, okay. Like, I can't argue with some of these. Tampa, 49ers, Cleveland. Cleveland's very dedicated, so give them credit. This is where I have problems. The Houston Texans. I don't think they should be that high on the list. They're in there with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steeler fans would die for their team. I don't think Houston would care if their team left. And then you've got Tennessee and Indy. Those two fan bases do not give two shits. Like, the AFC South as a whole should be like in the lower two. I'd argue the Jags fan base is more vitriol and passion than any team in that division. Like I'm okay if like they put all of them in the same category, but like the AFC South fans, you don't have a lot of passion out of the AFC South. I'd argue it's Jags and Titans. They're the most passionate about their team. Houston's just cocky, and the Colts haven't cared since Peyton left. So, why are the Titans, Colts, and Houston in great fans? That makes no sense to me. I also think the Raiders should be higher up. The Bears should be higher up. I think you could even make an argument for Miami to be higher up. Like, gotta love people who don't know football. Alright. I just had to stop on that because that was batshit insane. I like that apparently one of the sleeper Colts Twitter account is upset because Peyton keeps supporting Denver sports teams. It's almost like he lives there. Jacksonville has the most diverse. Because literally, there's more Jags fans, I think, in Virginia than there are fucking Commanders fans. You don't understand. Like, essentially from middle Virginia to southern Virginia, there's a shit ton of Jags fans. I don't understand why, but there are. It's weird. Jags fans are fucking everywhere. Jags fans are fucking everywhere. It's weird. I've never seen a Houston fan outside of TV. I can say that much. Outside of Kaz, I've never seen another Titans fan, and I know a Colts fan. So that's it. I will say this: at DC, there's not many. DC area, there's not many Jags fans. It's like once you hit around the Richmond area, for some reason Jags fans show up. I'm the weird Northern Virginia fan, but you know, it's weird. It's weird. Spotsylvania's got some. It's weird. Fucking weird. I don't get it. We're fucking everywhere. We're in little patches everywhere, but we're everywhere. Alright. Alright. I think I'm good. Well, apparently Jeff Cobb is main roster bound, which makes total sense. Well, where does this leave us?
Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this.
It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end. Frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events?
Mr. Gavin? Sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. What? Three were in the room the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. That's a word I've never seen before. I'm gonna learn a new word today. And the denouement of the argument was murder. Fun fact, that the word denouement, denouement means the final part of a play, movie, or narrative in which the strands of the plot are drawn together and matters are explained or resolved. The climax of a chain of events, usually when something is decided or made clear. This is another reason I love this game, because we learn new words. Why, I didn't. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. I will say, I just saw a video that was a POV. You're doing a plank. It's like you look up to check the time remaining on your plank, and it somehow has gone up. That's real. That's too real. Too real. You think you've been there like 30 seconds. Turns out it's been like 4. And you're like, what the fuck? Yep. It's too real. Too real. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Right? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person.
Ha! This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist. What, is Kevin Nash gonna come out of nowhere? Scott Hall? Maybe, I don't know, Eric Bischoff? Who's the 4th man?
Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. No, it doesn't exist, Spain. Your hairline. Oh, got it. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said.
the fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here, in our court, who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was?
It's not me, I swear. I'm not the fourth man.
Who is this fourth person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? I'm trying to remember what Pheonix said, because I'm 99% sure it's Pheonix. Because Pheonix said that they were using blue, the last game used the blue deck. Right? See, now, this is the only bad part of leaving off on cliffhangers and then coming back a week later. It's either, I think, him or Shady. I think it's one of these two. Oh, I can't even save. I want to say it's Pheonix, because he said specifically they were using the blue deck in the final game. Apollo, do you seriously think that? I think I'm seriously confused. I'm seriously sorry. That didn't go well. Let's see. I do not remember who stated that the cards were blue. I don't remember. Well, it can't be helped. I almost missed it myself. But it doesn't do anyone any good to turn their eyes away from the truth, does it, Kristoff? I was gonna go with him solely because I'm like, what are they gonna do? Turn, like, the mentor evil? Mr. Gavin? You don't mean... Kristoff Gavin. You were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue. The ones on the table, or the ones on the floor, or the table. But look! You can see the colors in the photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that at all. Clash of Passions. Oh! Yeah! Yeah, he didn't actually just say that the cards were blue. He used fancy terms. He decided to be very, very poetic. Well, Kristoff? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff? Oh, Kristoff. You know even I'd never take a joke this far.
This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder?
Technically not his defense attorney. Apollo's his defense attorney. I assure you, I'm quite sane.
But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what if they have?
Huh?
There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request... The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Miss Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh. Okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Well, just because we all deserve to hear more Pheonix Wright talking to us. Yes. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. It too, Justice? You would betray me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. Okay, before we get to appetite before murder, I am going to go ahead and grab some water. I will be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. It took a while because I put too much ice in my circle. Alright, let's do this. The fuck? That's weird. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Jotty Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another call. That's why I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder. I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I'd become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? I need to check something. Okay, we're good. We're good. I did check the audio on the YouTube side of things because for some reason it's telling me it's not getting enough bitrate. I don't know why, but so, you know. Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Oh, apparently the Jags on the power rankings are 29th. I'd say that's probably accurate to start the year. Justice. Sir! He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Apollo, you've got Pheonix Wright involved. There's no such thing as a normal trial. I mean, don't ask me how they decide the power rankings. The fuck am I looking at? I'm looking at someone making Chicago Bear Nikes. That is weird. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So some Jags fan took the Colts footage that they put up with Anthony Richardson, and they then spliced it into him cutting or him throwing a pick to Travis Hunter, which I'm sure there'll be plenty of those. Let's be real. Let's be real. There will be plenty of those if AR is playing. If. Bussing Paul. That's a choice of a name right there. These bots, man. Their names are getting weird. Timeout. Timeout. Is Snow White in the Snow White in public domain? Is it in public domain? Ah. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's technically in public domain. The base story is in public domain. Okay. There's apparently a Snow White horror movie. Which more than likely is probably better than, you know, the live action Disney one, given what we've heard of that. I feel like that's more than likely going to be a movie night just because it's been so terribly taken. Public domain Snow White movie. Singular movie, there we go. Here's the real question. I want to watch it just to see if we make an argument that Blood and Honey is better. That's the only reason I would like to do it as a movie night. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner?
Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that... Snow White is for Snow White to be more beautiful than the evil queen. And Gal Gadot the evil queen then. I will say, somebody made a good point that, and I believe, I've never read the Brothers Grimm version of Snow White. The only real Brothers Grimm, like, Disney thing that I remember is always, The Little Mermaid. But, somebody pointed out that technically you could say Snow White dies at the end of the movie. And I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get it. "5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shoddy Smith may have met?
I believe I did say that.
Here I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall.
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Opting for making horrible CGI dwarves instead of just hiring small actors. Yep. I mean, leave it to Disney to do the hard shit instead of the easier shit. What do we think's gonna look better in the long run? The CGI dwarves or Blood and Honey's masks? Oh, it would be. If that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? Blood and Honey's mask. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga O'Reilly mentioned. Budget. Snow White had over 240 million budget. There's no excuse. There never is. Never is with Disney. You know what the excuse is with Disney? They never should have fucking made it in the first place. Yes. A harmless prank, in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk? You're a superhero?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted! Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the Five of Hearts. Budget made 1000% a better movie than Disney. I mean, let's be real. I would believe that Godzilla would make a much better... Any Godzilla thing would be a much better film than most live-action Disney movies. Because let's be honest, Disney excels at animation. Not anything else. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There's an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice?
The murder weapon! Yes. I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. I'm gonna have to add that to the fanfic. A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Can I? Oh, apparently I can't yet. Mr. Wright,
The poker hand of courtroom number 3. The poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revive your testimony with this new information. I mean, you really don't see anything in there. Here, wait, let me zoom in. I see nothing. Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. Ho, so you struck fast. I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at that time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. Didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. And when you returned, the victim was already dead. Yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. Little. He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. And I figured Kristoff's law offices could give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Ah, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now. Yes, sir. To think, what's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere. Alright, here we go. I'm pretty sure this is the... Yep. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What? Mr. Wright, surely isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So, what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh, push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I have the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Huh. I'm wondering. I don't know which one of these two it is. It's one of these two. And because of that, I'm gonna save. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly contradicts the, I thought, you don't sound very sure, Mr. Justice. Objection overruled. Just because? Okay, it was the video. It was the image. I wasn't sure which because one doesn't bring up blood, the other doesn't show blood. So I'm like, which one is it? Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. Take a look at this. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head.
You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head.
Why'd you do a thing like that?
All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss O'Reilly didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? The witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. Yeah, Pheonix Wright, big Hoobastank fan. The Reason is his favorite track. You would not believe it looking at the man, but yeah. I just want you to know. You found a reason. That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. The gentleman who challenged you. He turned out to be good. Turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Bone china plate? A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate. But is that pate or pate? Pronunciation. Okay, that's not what I want. So it is pate? Really? Really? See, I see that the French pronunciation I can understand it being pate. Oh, it is pate. It is pate. I found it. I found it proper. It is pate. It is pate. Like all this about a murder investigation and all, but we haven't solved the number one mystery. Pheonix, mind explaining to me the very important detail of how did you get a jawline? Bro, this man, it's been 7 years. This man's been working out. Like, look at the build. You can tell Pheonix has been working out. He goes to the gym, probably, I think, 3 times a week. I don't think he goes 5. I think he goes about 3 times a week. Puts in some very good work. But yeah, the Pheonix be going to the gym now. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Pheonix right. I will say I've kind of gotten into Kristoff here, like the character. I've really enjoyed this. This is fun. This back and forth has been really fun. Makes me get the nostalgia of Pheonix and Edgeworth a bit. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, as the prosecutor, I...
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. Okay, I think we're gonna finish the trial today. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Who the fuck are you? Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please, pick a card.
What's all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
An ace. Where do I remember that card from? So, okay, the ace of spades was the card she had dealt him. The missing fifth ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
I'm sorry. Are you Phoenix's daughter? You're a magician? That makes far too much sense, for one. And two, what? This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently. But where? Both makes no sense and too much sense. Exactly. That's when I made the connection. I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought it was gonna be Pearl. Because I'm like, it's only been, what, 7 years, seemingly, since the end of the last Phoenix Wright game. Maybe a little bit longer, I don't know the exact time jump here. But if that's the case, then Pearl would be, like, 12? She was like, what? How old was she in the last game? Like 5 or 6? She wasn't very old at all. So I was thinking it was going to be Pearl out of nowhere. Oh, here we go. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Will Mr. the witness state his name and occupation?
This is farce necessary, Your Honor. Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom, trust me. I've written a whole fanfic about this pink-haired woman with a landline. It's crazy shit. You should have been there, man. It was crazy fucking shit. I've also seen a demon come out of a woman. That was a thing. Also, she was named after a famous murder. Crazy shit.
Fine. I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
What the fuck? I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright? What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. Is Pheonix the new Maya? Maybe. Maybe. I know she's in at least one of the games. So she is going to come back. You are going to get the Maya voice back at some point. And you're going to hate it, and I'm happy about it. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. I think he's just got his hands in his sweatshirt pocket. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What?
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all for the nookie. For the what? For the nookie. Ronnie tweet out Lakers in 8. Dude knows there's only 7 games, right? Think he's making fun of the Lakers? Ah. I was just not sure given, you know, his father. So. I'm not gonna lie, I almost read yet as yeet. So that's a fun little thing there. Yet I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally! You may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? Too much main event Che Uso, man. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best time for me to be at the time. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright.
So, you witnessed the murder?
For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Here we go. That man, you mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that.
So then, you knew the true nature of your client's job.
Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. I see. And what happened then? The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The black marketers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears had been unfounded? I'd been walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part of my testimony. Ah, there he is. The coolest defense in the West. The coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd changed too, Wright? But you hadn't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? I have not heard of that. Ah, they're a VTuber. Okay, I don't know him. Never heard of him. That's crazy that it's just an AI. That's fucking crazy. I feel like this is a whole... Well, actually, I was about to say there's a whole video game in itself. This is just Doki Doki Literature Club. That's what this is going to turn out to be. This is just going to be Doki Doki Literature Club in the long run. Alright. They're completely AI, and the dude programmed them to even play games by themselves without his intervention. They can even text content creators on Discord and call them. That's terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, that's fucking terrifying. Real quick, I gotta hit the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. And I also brought some good old Baja Blast just because we're going to finish this trial. That's terrifying, man. AI is scary. AI be terrifying. Just saying. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime. Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us?
Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes. As far as I saw, at least.
Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Pheonix Wright. Who else could it have been?
But why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Justice. I just said I saw no one. Not a soul.
But that goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Ah, yes. This mysterious 4th person.
Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin.
Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand?
Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something? I can't find myself. Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. 5th ace. Right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason? I've found a reason for this. One day the dude who made them was having tech issues, so I want to leave and just carve art on rocks with no tech. The AI asked if she come with him. He said no because she's tech, and the AI threatened to basically destroy everything. Called herself the goddess of destruction. So he said yes to her coming with him. Okay. Once again, AI is terrifying. It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace? The reason is, this. It's the ace of spades.
Is that an ace?
It's the future. It's the future. What that brings, who knows? It very true, and it's still terrifying. Why, it's got blood on it! Right next to the spade! It's the ace of spades!
What? This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be the missing 5th ace? It's the ace of spades. Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all. No. Impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How could you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Oh, he's got the twitch. He's got the twitch. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason?
The reason for what? The reason for...
I found a reason for me to take the ace of spades and somehow get Pheonix locked away. Why the fuck would he do that? Pheonix, write the musical. For the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and at the victim's hand. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is not permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture. Baseless! Guys, he did the thing. He fucking did the thing. He did the fucking thing. He did the thing, but casually. He did the thing. Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. That's based. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. Oh shit, look at this. We got 3D animation? What the fuck? The murder took place in the hideout. Body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And, before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. I mean, given there's a drop of blood on the card, I would think. Because his head goes back. His head goes back. Well, for one thing, the killer's in the wrong place, I think. You think? Mr. Justice, your job here is not to think, but to know. Ah, just looking at you reminds me of the old days. Not the good old days, per se. How does a good old penalty sound? Let's try that one more time. Mr. Justice, think before you sink. Yeah, okay, so it is the victims. Because if there's a drop of blood on the card, his head would be forward, not down. Right? Well, Isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic, Mr. Justice. Well, look. The victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. I was right. I was an idiot for hitting the killer first, but, you know. Oh! Take a look at that photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Why, that's right. So what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. So he was turned around. That's what it means. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be. So I was kind of on point with the killer not being in the right spot. The victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We now know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction.
Again?
Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? Oh, now it's the killer's. Because if he's going to hit him, it's going to be in the back of the head, not the front of the head. What? The Titans declined Traylon Burke's fifth-year option? That's crazy. Who would have guessed? Who would have fucking guessed? The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes? I thought Traylon Burks could replace A.J. Brown. More Super Bowls than Burks has touchdowns. I mean, Burks been injured his entire career, essentially. I do feel bad for the guy because I hate seeing players come in and essentially just, they don't play because they're injured the entire time. I want to see guys at least get an opportunity. You could be like Anthony Richardson, just tap out. That's always a fun time.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game?
Oh no, he's never gonna live down the tap out. That literally, if I was at a game and Anthony Richardson was on the field, or I was close enough to, chirp at Anthony Richardson, I'd just be chanting, "You tapped out." I would be just chanting, "You tapped out," the entire time. I'm not gonna lie. That's where my brain would go. I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. What? But... there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing? I mean, right here? Killer had to be standing, well, here. I mean, I think it's next to him, essentially, but...
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
I thought I was on to something there, too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above?
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait. I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation. Right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard and the hideout immediately. Colts fans trying to defend it. Like, bro, when has a QB ever just said nah on a handoff play because he was tired? Exactly. There's no way to defend tapping out of a game, especially when you're the QB. There's no way to defend that. If you get pulled out, you know, because you need to be pulled out, then okay. You don't tap out. No one taps out. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Ah, Your Honor? What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. If you're hurt, that's one thing, but just saying I'm tired, exactly. Exactly. I do my best. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here. Which means, Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to be seen as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my! What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang! Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? You're not going to be able to see shit. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure. Why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What? What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. We're putting that on a shirt. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard and the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, I'm not making Patrick now. It turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What? Ah, yes. I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of the regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that, now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it. I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. What? Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. I don't know who that would have been. Oh, okay, yeah, that's Pheonix. That's Pheonix. Miss Olga O'Reilly was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red. Oh shit, hair movement.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Pheonix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Yeah, he's gotta hate that Pheonix wasn't in the court for 7 years. He had to just be like, man, this is the most boring 7 years of my life. What happened to that Pheonix Wright fellow? Man, I got so much good material out of him. Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin. Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence?
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason, at present, you suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes, the fingerprints on the bottle were, upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? Ah. See how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking this explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another... Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? In plain sight. Do wonder if I'm right on this. We'll see if I'm right on this or not. I never did look at this. Single drop of blood marks the front of the card. Would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice. Mr. Gavin said that the court, in this case, demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. Paulo must be like, why am I still here? I don't even get to object now. He's objected like once since Pheonix was there, but that's about it. Okay, there's two options. I think the bottle is the situation here. Also, the pictures are making me think that the bottle's the thing. Because, keep in mind, I'm going to talk through this, just to make it sound better to myself. There is not a single blood stain on that bottle. If he was hit with that bottle, there would be some type of effect in that bottle being utilized. Not to mention, the other bottle has the cap off. So, oh, it's why the fingerprints are upside down. Oh. I know I'm overthinking this. I wonder if this is it. I'm now starting to wonder if this is the right choice. Am I right? Was I right on that? No. There's no way I literally talked myself into one thing and then realized, no, you're wrong. There's no way. There's no way I actually talked myself into something and then found the correct answer because I figured out I was inaccurate. There's no fucking way. I never do that. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yes. Now reach down and pick it up. without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow! I can't believe it was that simple! I know, neither can I. I overthought it massively. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph? I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles. That's why the card wasn't there. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order! 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 What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, as I thought. More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle is proof. Your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Christoph, shut the fuck up real quick there. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that, but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake. True. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. Hey! There's something inside the bottle. What's this? That card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. I didn't think she was that unpleasant, Pheonix. She was a card shark. She was a hell of a dealer. Miss Olga O'Reilly? Yes, our little swindling... I assume that's Russian, and I don't know. Oh, it is. It is a girl, especially one of Russian descent. Huh. Well. Let me figure out how to say it. Devotchka. Figured. Wasn't sure. I've mispronounced a shit ton. Yes, our little swindling Devotchka. I heard something and I was confused of what it was. It's just people outside. Well, wait. This isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? The Five of Hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh! Oh! Oh shit. That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Pheonix, right? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right?
This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? I want to do my job.
I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's admitted everything. We're prosecuting his arrest now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright.
Yes?
7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. Ain't that the fucking truth? A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright, our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Pheonix Wright, not guilty! Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while. Court is adjourned. April 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Thanks, Paulo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gat, the killer. Couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes. A sensitivity I lack. He'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll never learn that. Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait. You don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. If that locket's the key, time out. Did our boy Pheonix break up a relationship? Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Crazy if it is. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Huh? I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. The truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury! You testified. You said that locket was yours. Yeah, I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? You mean at the Wright & Co. law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Pheonix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion. He left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? Talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd. It's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. Yeah, that's how I knew it was a fraud, because he had the actual card. I didn't even think about that when he said it. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? I punched him. Damn. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut? Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little more punch. Oh, I love that. Take that! And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law. This is how my story begins. Hey! Holy shit, there we go. First one done. Can you believe it? Do you believe it, folks? Right at 4 o'clock, too. Great timing. So, with that, I guess we should... Oh, I can return... I love that they give you this right off the bat, so you can return to the games menu and not start the second episode yet, which is exactly what we're going to do. We won't be going into that second story just yet. I have so many questions, and we won't get any of them answered yet. But that is going to bring us to the end of this one. Go ahead and get the music going for you guys. Make sure my ears don't get blown off. Let's go. Let's go this one. With that, that's going to bring us to the end of this one. Jaren, appreciate you being here. Dash, appreciate you popping in. If you're watching after the fact or just chilling in the chat, I appreciate you too. Tomorrow, we will be back in the world of Johto, playing some randomized, hardcore Nuzlocke Pokemon Silver. And to say I'm terrified would be an understatement, solely for the fact of you never know what's going to happen with randomized Pokemon. That's always the intrigue of it. And that's going to be the situation at hand. So with that, appreciate you guys. And I will see you next time.